A warm greeting. Today is Thursday, October 12, 2023. I am meteorologist Ruben Garcia. In this video, I will be providing an update on the forecast related to Tropical Storm Sean. Additionally, we will talk about Invest 94 and how it could potentially become a significant threat to the Eastern Caribbean region in the long term. Let's start by discussing Tropical Storm Sean, which weakened into a tropical depression last night, but during today, it strengthened back into a tropical storm. However, in this visible satellite image, you can see how the wind shear is affecting its circulation. This is evident because we can see the exposed center of circulation to the southwest of the most active area of thunderstorms. This wind shear will continue to affect this cyclone as it moves to the northwest over the next few days. In fact, it is forecasted to dissipate in the coming days. In yesterday's video, I mentioned that initially, it was expected to have a northwest trajectory at least until Saturday. After that, it is expected to turn southwest due to a high-pressure system that will strengthen in the Atlantic and is responsible for potentially steering Invest 94 on a dangerous path for the Caribbean. The good news, compared to yesterday, is that now all specialized intensity models show a significant weakening of Tropical Storm Sean. It is anticipated that it will dissipate in about 4 to 5 days, posing no risk to the Caribbean. In the official forecast from the National Hurricane Center, it is predicted to weaken back into a tropical depression on Friday evening or night and dissipate over open waters of the Atlantic on Sunday. Tropical Storm Sean will not be a risk for the Caribbean. However, the situation is entirely different with the next tropical wave located south of the Cape Verde Islands. This disturbance has been designated as Invest 94 and is forecasted to have a potentially dangerous westward trajectory, staying near latitude 10 degrees north. The support for cyclonic development among global models continues to increase, which is why the National Hurricane Center increased the probability of Invest 94 developing into a tropical depression by 40% in the next 7 days as it moves mostly to the west-northwest. This westward movement is due to a high-pressure system that will be quite strong. This is not typical for October, as I mentioned yesterday, and this pattern is expected to persist in the coming days. There aren't many disturbances that could steer it northwest or north at the moment. Currently, it is most likely to move west-northwest. In a week, it could approach the Lesser Antilles. You can see a consensus among specialized trajectory models, all of which show this disturbance moving west over the next 5 to 6 days and maintaining a position between 10 and 12 degrees north latitude. This potential cyclone could be the most significant threat to the Caribbean region this year. Furthermore, something atypical for El Niño in October is the forecast for wind shear over the next week. In blue, you can see below average wind shear represented. The region just east of the Lesser Antilles and the Eastern Caribbean area is expected to have much lower wind shear than normal. This could create very favorable conditions for significant strengthening if Invest 94 or the future Tropical Storm Tammy approaches the Eastern Caribbean region. For the next 5 days, Invest 94 is expected to remain rather weak. However, by the end of next week, it could begin to strengthen as it crosses the 45 degrees west longitude. Let's take a look at the latest runs of the global models. Here we have the GFS model. Take a look at Tropical Storm Sean and Invest 94. It is forecasted that during the weekend, Tropical Storm Sean would be dissipating over open waters of the Atlantic. We have Invest 94 remaining weak with a westward trajectory. In fact, in the latest GFS run, this model keeps this system quite elongated and consequently develops a low-pressure system that would move northward. We can also see an energy pulse approaching the Lesser Antilles region. I wanted to mention that the GFS model's forecast at the moment does not resemble the other models. This model keeps Invest 94 quite weak, which could result in an elongated circulation and delay the westward movement, providing an opportunity for the high-pressure system to weaken. However, among reliable global models, this is the only one that currently maintains this system on a northward trajectory. Let's look at the forecast from the European model. As you know, it has been the most accurate in this Atlantic region during this hurricane season. Look at Invest 94, it's moving completely westward over the next 5 to 6 days. In the long term, about 8 to 9 days from now, it dangerously approaches what could become Hurricane Tammy in the Caribbean region. You know that the European model tends to be conservative in terms of intensity, so the fact that it shows a hurricane suggests that conditions could be very favorable just east of the Lesser Antilles for any tropical cyclone that approaches to undergo significant strengthening. This is precisely why I ask you to please pay close attention in the Caribbean region. Other models align with the European model's forecast. For example, the German model also shows a hurricane moving west just east of the Lesser Antilles. The UK model has a trajectory further south, approaching the Lesser Antilles for the upcoming weekend. The Canadian model indicates a hurricane approaching the Lesser Antilles towards the end of next week. In general, you can see a considerable consensus on this westward trajectory. At the moment, no significant changes are expected. Finally, let's look at the different scenarios shown by the ensemble of the GFS and European models. Starting with the GFS model, you can see two possible scenarios. One maintains a north-northwest trajectory, as indicated by the operational model run, while the other scenario moves further south and west, bringing the disturbance into the eastern Caribbean region. As is typical for long-term forecasts, there is significant uncertainty about the exact location of the future tropical storm Tammy's center of circulation. The ensemble forecast from the European model is quite different and, in fact, quite concerning. Many ensemble members depict a powerful hurricane moving through the eastern Caribbean in about 8 to 9 days. However, there is also another scenario in which it could strengthen more rapidly than anticipated and move northwest and north. Hopefully, this is the scenario that unfolds. At the moment, it appears that the most probable scenario is that it will approach the Caribbean region. Still, I want to emphasize that this is a long-term forecast, so we have many days to monitor it carefully. It is currently impossible to determine the trajectory with precision, and although I believe it will approach the eastern Caribbean, we cannot say with certainty how close or far it will be from our region. What's important is that we continue to calmly monitor the progress of this forecast and invest 94. Well, that's all for this forecast update. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel to stay informed in the coming days. Click the red button below the video that says subscribe, and then click the bell icon to receive notifications when I upload new videos. I hope you all have an excellent night.